Hello, Roadrunner fans. This is JJ Perez with Inside Runner Sports, and welcome back to another episode of the 13 Questions podcast, where I sit down and talk with different people inside of UTSA football and ask them the same 13 questions throughout this 2023 football season. Today, we sit down and chat with UTSA safety Rashad Wisdom, one of the undisputed leaders of the Roadrunner defense. Rashad returns to the Roadrunners this season to lead the defense after he sat out most of the 2022 season with what turned out to be a pretty significant shoulder injury. Rashad was the Conference USA preseason player of the year last year before he suffered that shoulder injury. He talks about kind of the mental state he was in last season, going through his injury, his confidence level now, some of the rehab. It was a very interesting, unique conversation because, Rashad tells us there at the end he was not planning to come back to the Roadrunners in 2023, but sometimes plans have a way of changing. So it's a pretty interesting perspective from a really interesting young man. Who's very outgoing, and it seems like he's in a good mental state at this point. So, headed into the season, like I said, he's one of the undisputed leaders of this team. He's in single digit jersey again for 2023, and it's a pretty interesting story about his shoulder injury, the rehab, and all that. So, hope you guys enjoy. Here we go. Rashad Wisdom on the 13 Questions podcast. Season 2 of the 13 Questions podcast here was UTSA safety Rashad Wisdom.
Yo.
Rashad, new season of the podcast. People liked it, so I ran it back here.
Okay.
13 new questions, 12 random questions about life and football, and then one about the upcoming season. So,
okay.
Question number 1, you have to pick one chore to do for one whole year, but if you make it the whole year, you don't have to do the chore for the rest of your life. What are you knocking out forever?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. It's got to be something you don't like, I think.
Yeah, it'd have to be between dishes and laundry.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably have to say dishes. I hate
Dishes?
doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Because, you got to eat every day, so,
Yeah.
you always got to constantly wash them. You can at least hold off on the laundry, once a week.
You big cook or?
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
I just made a ribeye the other day.
Really?
I made a ribeye with with a loaded sweet potato and some broccoli.
Wow, that sounds delicious. Question number 2. Can you describe how you are as a spectator watching football, I guess on TV?
I guess I just watch it like a fan. Sometimes I may start watching it like it's film and why did he do it, why did he do that?
Yeah.
But I just watch the game, honestly.
You don't have the odd 22. You could go look at coverages,
No,
right?
nah.
Especially for you as a safety.
Definitely not.
It's got to be frustrating, right? Because you can't see. They zoom in on the line. You can't see what they're doing in the backfield, defensive backfield, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I don't really watch a whole bunch of football when we're not in season.
Yeah.
I may watch film study stuff on other people to try to pick up on stuff, but other than that, I feel I don't really watch a lot of football until the playoffs come around.
Got you. Yeah. What is an app on your phone that you love using and think other people should know about?
The Google Calendar app
Okay.
helps me stay organized, know exactly what I got to do when I got to do it. It gives me alerts ahead of time to remind me. The Google Calendar app for sure. That helps me
I use that
stay
too.
balanced.
They'll send me an email saying, "Oh, you got something coming up in 3 days or something." So that's a good one. Question number 4: if you were allowed to relocate anywhere in the United States or the world, where else would you want to live and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. There's a couple of places I always thought about living. I've never been there, so I really don't know if I could live there.
Yeah.
I know Cali is one. I just feel like the vibe out there would be cool.
Anywhere specific out there?
I don't really know too many places. Probably San Diego. That's on the beach,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Probably San Diego. I wouldn't mind checking out somewhere overseas, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Somewhere. I know it would be cool to go to an island.
Yeah.
but I don't know what island though.
Yeah, it's a different lifestyle, I think.
Yeah.
Question number 5. When you see a hater on Twitter or social media, do you block, mute, ignore, engage? I don't know that I've ever seen you go back at anyone.
Yeah, I just ignore.
Yeah.
I'm just a firm believer in like not giving them the time of day, like the energy, like so. They say something, I'm not gonna go back and forth. There was one time though, where somebody was being a troll and like I was just going back and forth with them, but like I don't know. I just guess that day I was just in the mood to like for some entertainment. But other than that, I'm not doing none of that stuff.
People would be surprised how much stuff you get, right? I know I get some stuff, and I'm not even half as important as you guys. I mean, I could imagine your messages and replies and stuff.
Frank just got something before we got here, talk about the private jet and stuff. Like yeah, you just gotta let them people have it. Like somebody gonna complain about any little thing. Like I ain't got the time.
Question number 6, what makes you laugh during football games?
People up in the stands.
Yeah. Just whatever they shout.
Watching the team, the person that has to run and get the tee, that could be funny too, like depending on who it is.
Like they trip and fall on the way back or something?
Yeah, stuff like that. The little games that we play that they show on the big screen,
yeah.
Those can definitely be funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Question number 7. Who's a person you would be starstruck if you met them by? If you met like anyone.
Starstruck? I don't know if I would be starstruck, but like
I guess who would you like to meet then?
J. Cole.
Yeah.
LeBron. I think it'd be cool to meet them.
Yeah.
But who else? Yeah, probably them two. I don't know if I'll be starstruck though, but I would definitely love to meet them.
Here's a question I'm personally interested in your answer with. We all have good and bad days going through life. It's just it is what it is. What do you do to make yourself feel better when you're having a crappy day?
It just depends. I may watch something motivational, inspirational, just to get me going.
Yeah.
I may just go get like some cookies or something, like you know what I mean, just something to take my mind off, or just talk to my people. I don't know.
Yeah.
It varies between the situation.
I got you.
But I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like I've been having too many bad days lately. I feel like life has been good, so
that's
I'm
awesome.
just living in the moment right now.
That's great to hear. I know a lot of times with especially like social media, like mental health is like with players, like that's something people don't think about, right?
Social media is bad just because like you can go on there, read something, and you start being like, dang, do I do this, or like do I need to start doing this, or like, you know what I mean, and really just you don't need to be worried about any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Just focus on yourself and just be who you're supposed to be. Honestly, like I feel like that takes a lot of worry off all that stuff.
Yeah. Question number 9: have you achieved your childhood dream?
No, not yet.
What is it?
Get into the NFL.
Yeah.
That's definitely my child. That and having my own business.
Okay.
Like I've always envisioned myself like, I've always been realistic to the point that I know football will end for me one day.
Yeah.
My ending of football will be in the NFL though. But I know once that time ends, like I've always envisioned myself having like a really nice office on like a big like skyscraper, like overlooking like a nice view, like, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? I did it.
Yeah.
Like,
You have any idea what kind of industry you want to be in once you're done with football, whenever that is?
I'm pretty sure I'll probably use my degree, so something with cybersecurity.
Okay.
But I mean, it could be anything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways to make money. And that's just really what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because having that money you're able to have that freedom to, you know what I mean, do whatever. So, but yeah, that's definitely what I've always envisioned myself to.
Question number 10: what life lessons from a young age stick with you as an adult now?
Man, so many. I feel like the biggest thing that I took from when I was younger that my dad told me, because there was one time, so I've always been real, like, a big grinder, like, since I was young. I remember I may have been 8th grade, maybe a freshman, but, like, you know what I mean, I'm ready to go. It's like 8 in the morning. I'm ready to go work out and stuff like that. And I'm waiting for my friends because we plan to go, but they never showed up. So I go back home upset and stuff, and I'm telling my parents, and my dad was like, man, you never let nobody dictate, like, your work. Like, if you want to go do it, you need to go do it. Like, don't wait on other people to go do it for you. And after that, I kind of like, you know, you're right. Like, I can go do it by myself if I need to. Like, and honestly, like, they may not want as bad as I do. You know what I mean? I'm up at 8 ready to go get it. Like, they're not really serious about what they're trying to do and what I'm trying to do. So, like, after that point, I was kind of like, okay, like, I can go do this on my own. I feel like that's probably the biggest thing I've taken from when I was younger.
Awesome. That's an awesome answer. Question number 11. What is the single most important skill a football player must possess?
Confidence.
Confidence.
Because I've experienced both having a lot of confidence and like not having a whole lot of confidence. I feel like that's the biggest factor to playing. If you go out there just believing in yourself and, you know what I mean, you can go play lights out. But if you go out there and do everything you can for the week, or, you know what I mean, leading up to that season, but you're just like timid, you're not really believing in yourself, you're gonna play terrible. Like, I feel like that's the single most important thing. Like, and even when everybody's down you, when everybody's counting you out, you got to believe in yourself more than anybody, because like I just said before, like, you're the one that's going out there to do it. So, you know what I mean, no one in the stand can tell you anything, no coaches, no nothing. Like, you need to believe in yourself, because if you don't, then no one's going to do it for you.
You're a pretty confident player. You not felt confidence recently, or when was a point then you could kind of talk about that a little bit?
I feel like I wasn't too confident in myself this past season.
Yeah.
I could just feel it. You know what I mean? I feel like just with my shoulder, thinking too much, just, you know what I mean? Just, there's a lot of noise that I was hearing from all over the place, you know what I mean? From whether it may have been like friends, family, people in the school, you know what I mean? In the building, and, you know what I mean? Just all over the place, myself, and I'm trying to listen to God, just, you know what I mean? I'm hearing a lot of different stuff, and, you know what I mean, that stuff can, you know what I mean, it can really mess with you. And it's just like we were talking about social media, like that can really get into people's heads too. And, you know what I mean, and I've also seen, like I said, I've seen the flip side of it where I'm playing with a lot of confidence, where I feel like, you know what I mean, whereas early on in my career here, where it's like, you know what I mean, like, I know I can go do this, let me go do it and show it. So I feel like this past offseason has been this past season was probably the worst I've endured, but I feel like it was what I needed for me to have the season I want to have this year and moving forward. So, you know what I mean, everything's a blessing in disguise, and, you know what I mean, I'm feeling really good about everything.
I appreciate you sharing that. Question number 12 of 13. You have to lose all of your memories in your football career, but you get to keep one. What football memory do you want to hold on to forever?
Winning that first conference title.
Yeah.
I don't think there will be anything like that, because that's stamped in history forever. Like, there can never be another first, you know what I mean? And that's special. Like, my name is a part of that, and it's not going anywhere no time soon. So just being able to be a part of that and all that came with it, and how the city embraced it and stuff like that, like, it was awesome. I was able to do it with my guys, and, you know what I mean, me and Sincere grew up playing together down here, so, and doing it in front of my family and the people, you know what I mean, from down here, and doing it in the city that I was born in or raised in, and it was definitely special for sure.
I was talking with Frank Harris about kind of that last drive. It was crazy set of plays, and so do you remember, like, the game winner? He was talking about more against the UAB game, the one that got you guys to there, and just kind of the atmosphere. What was it like on the sidelines? That and when you guys won the championship.
I feel like the atmosphere was the craziest when we beat UAB. Like, that game was so loud, like, it was ridiculous. And then when Oscar caught that pass, like, it blew up. But, like,
it was wild.
I feel like the craziest thing is, like, we was on the sideline, and I'm sitting there, like I wouldn't even, like, no, maybe it might have been a different game, but, like, don't get me wrong, I was definitely nervous, like, bro, like, and then as we're watching it, what made me nervous the most was the third and long call when they said Z was out, when he was definitely in.
Right.
So I'm like, it's fourth and long. Like, bro, like, if we don't get this, it's over.
Yeah.
And they get it. I'm like, no way. And then we throw the deep ball to JT.
Yeah.
He gets it. And the whole series of events leading up to it ridiculous.
That
like,
and just the whole season that year was great. Like being undefeated, like all the hype, and it was, that's a great memory. I don't think I'll ever forget it. Question number 13, last question of the 13 Questions podcast for season 2. You know, you suffered a season-ending injury last year. You were preseason conference defensive player of the year. I mean, you had to be on the sidelines as UTSA went back-to-back. Just, like, how was it going through that experience, both physically and mentally? And then where are you at right now? I know you said recently you got cleared to play, but I want to know about the mental aspect, because that's a grind and a challenge to go through something like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said earlier, you know, I mean, that past season, I just ain't feel very confident in myself. I could just feel it going into camp and all that, like. And what a lot of people don't see is that, you know, this stuff comes back around quick for us, because, you know, the season just ended, end of December, like right before January, and we might have 2 weeks off, and we're right back into workouts and stuff like that, and in school. So, you know, I mean, having been starting here since my freshman year, like, all them plays and wear and tear, and, you know, I feel like it started catching up to me, like, both on the field and off, and, like, I just needed a break. And, you know, I mean, at the time when it happened, like, you know, I mean, it was awful. But looking back on it now, like I said, I feel like it's really a blessing in disguise, and really what I needed for not only this season but moving forward, just because, you know, I mean, it was getting to a point where, like, I was getting tired of this. Like, I was getting tired of football, getting tired of school. I didn't want to do anything, like, and, you know, I mean, going through this surgery, it was the hardest surgery I done had to go through. And I said it on my post that this is the hardest thing I had to go through since I lost my brother. Like, you know, I mean, this is the most invasive surgery. They did a lot of stuff. I didn't have a nerve block. I had to go to Houston, back and forth to Houston to go see my doctor and go get it. So, you know, I mean, I went through a lot of stuff during this off season. Like, there's a point in time I couldn't even lift my arm, and, like, you know, I mean, it's just a whole lot of stuff. And
people don't know, you told us in the spring, like, 30% bone loss or something?
Yeah, close to like 30% of my bone missing.
You weren't sure if you'd be able to pick your arm over your head up, right? Like when you're an adult, like that, like the kind of like, and it's a painful surgery and kind of rehab, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Like, I remember there one, and going through rehab, a lot of people don't know this here. Like, you get to that point too, like, we're just frustrated, like, it hurts every day, and, you know what I mean, you're just like, am I ever
progress?
You feel like there's no progress being made. You don't know if you're ever gonna be fully healthy again. You're kind of like, am I doing this for no reason? But, like, and I definitely got to that point too within like 5 months of my recovery, like, and because what I was told was that around like 6 months I would be getting ready to be clear, like, feeling better. But I'm 5 months out, I'm like, I still feel the same I did in 2-3 months. Like, what's up? Like, you know what I mean? So, but the only thing about that, you got to keep pushing, keep going, because even though you don't see progress, there's progress being made. And, like, right after that day, I started seeing, like, big leaps and bounds in progress. Being able to just be off the field, look at football from a different lens too, and, you know what I mean, really get into my classes and take care of that stuff too. Like, all that stuff I feel like is beneficial for me, really getting deeper into the word and my faith, being able to get baptized this off season and all that stuff. Like, and now I feel like I'm aligned mentally, physically, and spiritually. Like, I'm in tune with myself, and I feel like nothing can faze me. Like, I feel good. I have my confidence back, and, like, you know what I mean, I got that swag back, like, and I'm just excited to be back on the field. And, you know what I mean, I'm excited for the season. So, like I said, before when it happened, I was hurt and I felt bad, and, you know what I mean, all that. But now I look back on it, I feel like it was a blessing in disguise and probably the best thing that could happen for me, honestly.
Did you almost not come back?
Honestly, going into last season, like, my plan was not to come back. Like I said, I was just so tired, and, you know what I mean,
it's hard to crank it up every year, right?
Yeah.
It's a mental and physical toll that people don't realize, right?
Exactly. That on top of school too, like, that's a whole nother mental part of it. And with my degree being cybersecurity, like, that's not
tough.
easy.
Yeah.
So, like, I was to the point, like, man, something has to give, because, like, it's just getting too tough for me. So I was gonna just ride it out with football, just be done with school, and then, go as far as I could with football, see where that goes, and then try to come back and finish my degree. But now, it ended up being football taking the backseat for a second, getting, focusing on my classes.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where at the end of this year, I'll be able to declare for the draft and graduate my degree. So I'm going to leave with everything I came here for. So
That's awesome. That'll wrap it up. Rashad Wisdom on the 13 Questions Podcast. Thanks,
no
Shad.
doubt. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, appreciate Rashad for taking the time for that interview. We recorded that at AAC Media Day in Arlington last month, so that's why you hear some of that background noise. But yeah, I appreciate Rashad being so forthcoming there. I mean, I don't know that we didn't expect him to come back this season had he not been injured, but certainly that is a huge factor, and it'll be interesting to see how he kind of gets back into the mix. I mean, I expect him to be, one of the starters at safety, a key contributor, and just a really interesting and unique conversation. I appreciate Rashad taking the time and doing that. So we'll another good episode in the books. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back with another episode next week. And, next week is game week for the Roadrunners. So it is the 2023 season is quickly approaching. And, we'll see you guys back next week. Thanks for listening.